Over the last decade, Black Friday has sneaked into our lives here in the UK, not as a traditional British sale, but as an imported ritual born in America, fueled by e-commerce giants and bargain-chasing shoppers. What started as a post-Thanksgiving shopping frenzy in the US, when stores finally turned a profit, that's from in the red to in the black. Black Friday, do you get it, Adam? You know where I'm going with that?
Oh, got it. That's a great gag, yeah.
Good man. When that jumped across the Atlantic in 2010, it was because Amazon UK ran its first Black Friday deals. In 2013, major high streets like Asda joined in, and things got wild. You may recall there were scenes of people scrambling over TVs, there were huge crowds, even fights. But now in 2025, it's not just even one day anymore, and Black Friday isn't just about good deals and frenzied shopping. It's become prime time for fraudsters. Scammers know that when we're chasing bargains, we're more vulnerable than ever, and that's exactly when they strike. In this episode, we're diving into the dark underbelly of Black Friday, the scams, the tricks, and how fraudsters turn our desire for a bargain into their payday. This is True Crime Catch Up. I'm Stuart Blues from British Murders. The voice you heard earlier was Adam Lloyd from UK True Crime.
Hello.
And every week we will be diving into what's happening in the world of true crime, from the biggest headlines to the strangest stories you might have missed. As always, make sure you follow the show wherever you're listening, hit subscribe on YouTube, and if you enjoy what we're doing, leave us a quick rating or review. It really helps people find us, and it's a zero-cost way of supporting this brand new podcast. Adam, are you ready? Shall we get into it?
Yeah, let's do it. So Black Friday, somehow it's become a thing, hasn't it, that we all know about? Even for someone like me. Now, sure, I avoid the high street like a plague. After all, I don't vape, and I have a mobile phone and a mobile phone case. So why would I go to the high street? We as consumers spend billions in the UK each year during this week alone. This year, the spending is supposed to be in excess of £14 billion. It's amazing. And even though it started with those in-store rushes, nowadays, of course, it's all online. And some of the stats, Stuart, are pretty staggering, aren't they?
The funny thing about the high street you mentioned is you forgot that, I think there's four main shops.
Yeah.
There's gambling shops, vape shops, charity shops, and your favourite, barbers.
I spent hours at the barbers, but that's another story.
Took too much off.
Cost me a fortune. I was there for 3 days. Anyway, should we move on?
Let's look at some stats then. So the average spend for the Black Friday weekend this time is expected to be around £299. That's actually up 83 quid from last year. If we're talking about fraud, so Action Fraud is our sort of main fraud body, I guess, in the UK. From November 2024, so last Black Friday, to January 2025, you've got the Black Friday sales, the Christmas sales, the New Year sales. So between that period last year, Action Fraud recorded around £11.8 million lost to online shopping fraud in the UK. Now, I don't know about you on your laptop PC. I use Bitdefender. They're not a sponsor, by the way. I'm just saying this is an antivirus software that I've used for years. They do research into this stuff, as you would expect. So what they've said is in the lead up to this Black Friday 2025, they found that fake shopping sites and spam accounts for 53% of all Black Friday related spam. They're actually infecting my voice. That's how bad it is.
Just by the way, if Bitfinder do want to sponsor this episode, I'm sure we can come to a fantastic
Bitdefender
deal.
do want to sponsor, yeah, please do. Yeah. That was between 1st of October and the 10th of November, by the way. Also from Bitdefender, please sponsor us. Fake shops. It's a sentence you don't even think you'll say. Fake shops were up 232%. These are Amazon-style sites. So they sort of, I guess, take either they're pretending to be Amazon or they're using a similar layout to Amazon, because it's so easy with AI now to just scrape a website and make your own website. And they sort of seasonal. So they do it around the sale times of year. For one platform, the spike was as high as 525% in fake site creation. That's according to Which. All this online stuff, and you mentioned we moved from retail to online, and there's various reasons for that, but how trusting are you of websites, especially when you're buying stuff, putting all your sensitive data in there?
I am probably, well, I'm just naive about it all. I don't even give it a second thought most of the time, which,
Is
well,
that because you earn so much money you're not bothered if you lose it?
I do. When you've got millions, sure, it doesn't really matter, does it? Yeah. But no, I do. I just trust stuff. Even back when I remember when the internet first started being an old git. And, all these people were untrusting. They wouldn't give their cards in restaurants or petrol stations. But the reality is, I know we're going to talk later about some potential tips. And I know we had a conversation about giving tips about people, what they should and shouldn't avoid.
Adam didn't want to give tips.
I'm not
And I
into
do.
this. Oh, I'm not into being told what to do. I think you just do it. But I suppose the stats say that I'm in the wrong here, aren't I? Because there's so many frauds going on.
Yeah, I think you can never hear a helpful tip too many times.
Hmm.
The thing is, when you hear something repeatedly, this is how marketing works. It gets ingrained in the old grey matter.
Hmm.
So if you hear something over and over and over and over and over again, it will stick. This is how jingles on adverts stick in, I'm not going to sing any jingles because they're not sponsors of the show, but there's certain food delivery services who have a jingle that I'm sure we all know. What I want to know is, though, with Black Friday, are people actually getting deals? Because we're a nation of naturally thrifty people, I would say, who love a bargain. Bargain-loving Brits is what we kind of are.
Hmm.
Are we actually getting good deals here? Or are we just trained to think that we are so that we spend money, even in a cost of living crisis?
I imagine the reality is a bit of both, isn't it? I imagine there are some great deals out there, but equally, there's loads of stuff. I mean, just from my knowledge of it, 50 quid off, it sounds a great deal and you're interested. But then there are other things you can look at. There are sites. I know that, Stu, you're more into this, aren't you, through the work you do as well. So there are sites you can go and check. And actually, I think we see it on Amazon, don't you? You can see how good that deal really was.
Yeah, so sometimes they do it on Amazon itself. It'll give you a price history, but there are certain websites. All you have to do is copy the Amazon item URL, the link, and paste that into one of these tracker websites, and that will give you a graph which is either flatlining or spiking, or what's the opposite of a peak? A trough.
Yeah.
It'll peak or it'll trough, and you can look back on, say, the last 3 or 6 months and figure out if what you're getting is a good deal, or has it been that price 3 months ago, but you just didn't see it promoted because it wasn't a Black Friday sale items. Do you know what I mean? I think it's important to do, but who's got time for that, right?
Well, before this show, I do extensive research, unlike you, so that I come across as very learned, even learned.
Oh, you absolutely shot yourself in the foot there.
Yeah, but as I was going through, all I saw was loads, pages and pages and pages of tips to avoid Black Friday fraud. It seems like for internal copywriters and marketing agencies, it seems like we've created a whole new industry on how to avoid Black Friday fraud. I mean, I was looking for specifics of actual frauds that have taken place or major incidents that have taken place, and I couldn't see any retailers being taken to court. Have you come across this before?
Not really. I mean, it used to be once upon a time where retailers would increase the price, right? And they would increase it to a price and then drop it a week later.
Yep.
Don't really see that anymore. But no, there's nothing. We have Martin Lewis, don't we, that gives us advice and tips, very helpful. But I've never seen a retailer taken to court, because I think most of the scamming officially is, from actual fraudsters, as opposed to thinking that a business is ripping you off, when really there's a lot of legislation they have to adhere to before they price their items, right? But the thing is, whenever you get these massive spending spikes, as we've alluded to, you get massive fraud spikes. Scammers love this time of year in particular. Did you know, actually, though, I read Martin Lewis earlier, the legend. He said that if you want a good deal, here's the first tip of the episode. If you want a good deal and you can wait until after Christmas, I think he said you're 70% more likely to get a better deal in the January sales than you are in either the Black Friday sales or the pre-Christmas sales.
Really? Are the January sales even a thing anymore?
Yeah, oh, big time, yeah.
Okay.
Massive in the UK. Still, there's people that will get up at 3 a.m. to queue at a shop to buy something that apparently they need
I've often
because
wondered
it's a
about
good
that.
deal.
What if you stay overnight? Okay, you're queuing overnight outside Harrods, for example, on Christmas. Yeah, on Christmas
Of
Eve.
course, you pick Harrods as the one shop, not next or anything.
Outside the pound shop. Okay, you're outside the pound shop. You're camping out on Christmas Day, and then when they open the door, and if you don't know exactly where you're going, you've got like 7 people behind you come racing past and nick the bargain, right?
I guess it's stock dependent, but people do that.
Hmm.
Have you ever got up early? Whether it's looking at your face, it's a no. But some
No.
people, if it's a video game release or it's a new movie comes out at the cinema at midnight, they used to do midnight screenings. I don't know if they still do. People would get up and queue. You know, like let's say the new Grand Theft Auto game comes out, as and when, if it does, and they do a midnight release, you'll get people waiting overnight for that.
Yeah.
So it does still happen, but I'm assuming that's something you've never done.
I think I would say as a culture, we're getting less and less like that. When you remember the old days when as you say that, I suppose, we think about things like the Oasis tickets that came out last year. Nearly everyone I know was online at a certain time or 2 hours before actually to get the tickets and making sure we're in the queue. So I suppose we are still doing the same actions. But what about you, Stuart? Have you ever queued up late at night for morning shop opening?
I don't think I've ever done it physically, no.
Hmm.
I did try get Oasis tickets. I failed miserably.
Yeah, me too.
So therefore I didn't want them.
No. Overpriced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think one of them I actually queued for online. Me and my mate did it. Was for Peter Kay tickets when he first came back. And that was a nightmare of a queue. You know when you're 250,000th in the queue and the arena only holds 10?
Was that back when he was funny?
I mean, I've not seen the show because I didn't get a ticket.
Haven't you? Do you like Peter Kay?
I did like him back in the day. I've heard mixed reviews about his current stuff, but I can't comment on it because I've not seen it. One thing I want to talk about is because we're ordering so many things at this time of year, it's keeping track of what you actually order. And this is something that the scammers bank on, that you forget what you've ordered and what delivery provider. It's not just Royal Mail these days. You've got you've got Yodel, you've got DHL, Parcel Force. It could be any of these. So what they do is they will send fake emails. They will even send fake texts because most of our numbers have been probably sold, either data breaches or sold on the dark web. The same with emails. Whenever you give consent on a website, you're pretty much giving your email address away.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't read the fine print. And the thing is, if you've ordered 10 things for Christmas, odds are one of them, if they send the scammers a blanket email to 1,000 people that says your every parcel is delayed, you need to pay some import fees or you need to pay extra shipping costs, at least a few of those people are going to think, oh God, I've got an every parcel, it's due today, the timing's going to work out. And this is what people need to understand. When you get a fake text or an email, it's human nature to think that that's aimed at you and you directly.
Yeah.
But we need to be remembering that these are blanket mass sending of emails and texts in the hope that if you send 1,000 out, even 1%, 0.5% pick up, you're laughing as a scammer, aren't you?
So how does it work then? So I get this text and I think, oh yeah, I've got one coming. So I click in, then it asks my bank details and that just goes straight to the scammer, right?
So essentially, it gives you a link, which is a dodgy link. Now, again, another tip is if you're not sure about a link, if it's unsolicited, a lot of people like banks will only mention either your name or the last part of your postcode. They'll mention something so you know that it's real. The general ones will say, dear sir or madam, or it might say, dear customer, or something that's not specific to you. When you click on the link, generally, it'll take you to a scam version of the official website. There's a couple of things to look out for in the URL bar where the actual website is listed. The first thing is there a padlock on it? Because on every URL, there's a padlock. If that's there, that's a good sign. It's not foolproof, but it should be there. And when it says HTTPS and then a colon, then 2 forward slashes, Some of the fake websites just say HTTP.
Ah,
The S means secure, I think. It's not foolproof, but again, there's certain site securities that they don't have because it's just a temporary website that they'll take down. Once you're at the website and you think it's legitimate, they will essentially claim that there's been an issue with your package, the deliveries not being fully paid for, or there's import fees, there's customs taxes, there's some kind of fee that you have to pay. So then you will just go on, either give them your bank details
yeah.
or make a payment to their bank details, and then your money's gone then. And, your parcel will just turn up as normal because it's nothing to do with the parcel you've actually ordered. It's just a chance
Yeah.
that you've ordered from this delivery service at this time of year, and you've bitten, unfortunately.
And where are these scammers based? Is it a 14-year-old in his back bedroom at home in the UK?
It can vary. Now, my proper job doesn't deal with specifically fraud, but we see a lot of that. And part of my work is reporting that to the NCA.
This isn't the modelling job. This is the other job, is it?
It's the other job, yeah.
The other job, yeah.
The modelling job went tits up.
All right.
And I see a lot of it. Now, there are some common countries that facilitate this stuff. That's the word, isn't it? You're more learned than me, even though you can't say the word. There are certain countries that are more prevalent with this kind of behaviour. However, I'll refrain from specifically calling them out because I wouldn't want to suggest that the entire nation is purely involved in that activity. But there are some certain areas of the world that are prolific. And that could be down to things such as there's not enough career aspirations there. They might not have anything going for them there. It might be a country that's not as, can I say, not quite? No, I'm not going to say it. But they might not have as many options as us, basically. So they have to turn to what they know, which is this.
Right. Because I never see, like I said, I look for this stuff being reported in the news all the time. And I never quite see. I always see our national criminal agencies saying that they're working with their European colleagues to work on these scams. But it's very rare we actually see news of a scam being shut down. I can think of 2 or 3 this year, but I don't see many. Do you in the news?
The only one that comes to mind, it wasn't really I guess it was a scam. Do you remember the thing up in Scotland? And it was like a fake Willy Wonka walkthrough. Do you remember that?
I don't recall that one.
It was like I think it was a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This was big on social media at the time, but it was sold as this magical experience, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But it was all AI generated posters.
Oh.
And when people got there, it was basically a derelict warehouse with a couple of pop-up cardboard backgrounds and some actors who were getting paid pennies. It was terrible. That's the only thing I can think of that's been in the news. But I think you've got a point there. The only things we get told in the mainstream media is how not to get scammed. And we might be given some statistics about how many people have been scammed, but it's never this organisation is running a scam. Because I think a lot of it is individuals who learn from other individuals. They're all sole traders.
Well, I covered,
mean?
yeah, I do. And I covered a major case on my podcast a few weeks ago. It's about the ice spoof scandal. And they set up a website. So and it was almost like commercial marketing, like saying it was done really, really well. Like, this is the number one name in spoofing. So come to our website and we can sell you whatever you want to do. So you can be HSBC or other banks or other trusted sources. And it wasn't expensive to do either. And they defrauded, I think it was hundreds of thousands of people. But in the end, it all came down, as it always does, to one bloke who lived near City Airport in East London. That's what it came down to. And he's the one that made millions from it. There's all the middle people on the way, aren't there? But
Yeah,
this one, and that's what it always comes down to, doesn't it? It's always down to one person leading a gang.
Have you ever been scammed yourself, though?
Have I been scammed? Well, funny enough, at my work, I failed a phishing test on Friday.
Did you?
I was sent, yeah, I was at the airport waiting to come home, and I saw an email from my boss with a title that I expected. I was in a hurry, so I just clicked on it. Then I got a big red flashing saying, "You have failed our phishing test." So
Oh
I
dear.
suppose really that brings us back to where we started. So I fell for something. If that had been one of the bad guys, I could have given the information away quite easily. And this is what happens to, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, age 74, living in Blackpool, isn't it, on a daily basis? What we're being told in the media. Have you been scammed, Stuart?
Almost. I was almost scammed when I was, God, probably 18, I think. But this was on eBay. So I'd put a piece of jewelry on eBay, and
Hold on. What piece of jewelry? Was it your jewelry?
it wasn't mine. No, it wasn't
Was
mine.
it not a necklace with Stu on it?
No, but it had the letter S on it.
Oh,
But it wasn't mine. I can assure you.
okay.
Believe me or not. So I put it on eBay, and I put it on. Normally, back then, it works differently now. But it was a case of you would put a minimum bid amount on, and then you would put a buy it now price, which was normally a bit higher. So if people wanted to forego the chance of bidding and losing out, they could just buy it now. So someone bought it straight away. I was like, oh, buzzing. But then they messaged me saying, oh, because I'm in wherever it was, a completely different continent, can you send it via this and via this? And, when it arrives, I'll send you the money. And this was all outside of eBay. And at the time I thought, it was one of the first things I'd sold on there. I thought, this doesn't feel right. But this is how advanced they were even back then. This must be in 2008, maybe, let's say, 2009. Yeah. I sent an email to eBay thinking I was doing the right thing. And I copied in the sale reference. And I got an email back within 2 minutes because I was saying, is this legit? Can I go ahead? Within 2 minutes, I got an email back saying, yep, it's absolutely fine. Just go ahead. That's absolutely fine. What they'd done somehow is track my email with that number in it and sent me a fake response to my email somehow and to say it was fine. I was on my way to the post office with this thing. But then I got my real reply from eBay or PayPal, whoever it was at the time, saying, no, don't do this. We would never ask you to do this. It's always through eBay, blah, blah, blah. Thankfully, I didn't send the item. That's the only real experience I've had with it. But I just thought, how advanced is that they could even somehow find my reply and reply to that straight away?
But haven't I read about in the past that some people will steal your credit cards, then they'll order stuff to your house from a big retailer, then they'll actually be waiting outside your house to see it arrive. Have you heard this before?
That's frightening. I've not heard that.
And actually wait to see the parcel arrive, and then they go and pick it up.
Wow. That's terrifying.
It is, but we talk about the criminals, but you could argue that it's not just the criminals bending the rules here, is it? So big retailers, you could argue, do it too. Look, I get it. Retail 2025, it's really tough. But when we do see these fake original prices, the inflated pre-sale prices, or selling older stock, that's another one, isn't it? As an exclusive Black Friday deal. Retailers now are subject to specific laws, aren't they? The Consumer Rights Act. And let's face it, one of the few things that our governments of any colour are good at is adding new laws, isn't it? So there are more laws now protecting us, but we still think they're pushing the margins a bit, Stuart, you'd say.
I think so. It's refreshing to know that they can't just change the price of an item ad hoc. They have to give a justified reason. It has to reflect the market price of that item's value in the current climate. So the fact that legislation's been brought in as a consumer is a good thing.
Yeah.
The problem being is because the retail sales are never that, I can't say they're not that good, but they're not as low as perhaps they were once upon a time.
Yeah.
It gives scammers the chance to come in. So, for example, I think there's a big hoo-ha about some air fryer at the moment that's 80 quid, which Martin Lewis said is a pretty good deal. I forget the retailer. But if you perhaps go on Instagram or any other social media site, there'll be a scammer advertising that same one for, say, 25 quid.
Yeah.
and you might think, wow, that's an absolute bargain.
Hmm.
You order it, you pay for it, and you get delivered not an air fryer, but a bag of air. And then you've been scammed, haven't you? And this is the
Yeah.
thing. If another tip, if an offer sounds too good to be true, guess what? It probably is.
Sterling advice. Let me ask you this, because this interests me. So, a friend of mine runs a big kids play park. It's like a farm, and Halloween is now bigger for him in his business than Christmas or the summer holidays. Now, when I was growing up, back in the 1800s, Halloween wasn't really a big thing, but in the US, it's always been massive, right? It's been a huge thing. And it's the same as Black Friday. So are you surprised that this American import has caught on so widely across the UK?
Nowadays, I'm not surprised. 20 years ago, maybe.
Hmm.
There's a very British feeling for a lot of people that thinks, ugh, this American stuff again, crumbing over here. Because we're a lot more reserved and less out there than the stereotypical Americans that are portrayed on TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, nowadays, there's people... When I grew up, no one really trick-or-treated.
No.
You never saw Black Friday. It didn't exist. It wasn't here. Like I said, that only came over in 2010.
Hmm.
Do you think that's a problem, though? Do you think... Or should we be embracing these essentially American cultures over here?
Do you know? I think we should actually, and I think that in the UK at the moment, it's hard times, isn't it? Life is tough for a lot of people. Not everyone lives your glamour lifestyle, shirt, do they? Like an international playboy. For the rest of us, life is tough.
You're talking about yourself again.
So I think anything that just gives us some interest, some hope, something to look forward to, like with Halloween. I see all them dressing up. I see the gardens all decorated. Some amazing gardens near where we live. Fantastic. I just think anything that gives people in the country something to look forward to. And if they can get a bargain, if they follow your extensive list of safety tips, then
more tips to come.
So what's my issue with tips? My issue with tips is I just feel it's very preachy. I feel I'm being preached to by the government, by every organisation. The only person who can't preach to us is Saint Martin Lewis. He can tell us whatever he wants and we'll accept it, won't we? But funny enough, he's been scammed, hasn't he? Well, they've used his image, the scammers, to actually buy credibility.
Yes, because I think, is this one of the deep fake things?
Yeah.
You'll see adverts online. They do the same with people like Joe Rogan, anyone with some kind of high status, because there's so much footage of these people, both audio and video. It's very easy to use AI and do what's called a deep fake, where it's basically not them, but it looks and sounds like it is them. And to someone who doesn't know any better, they would think, well, Martin Lewis has said I should buy this product, though, therefore, I'll buy this product.
Because everyone trusts Martin Lewis, doesn't he? If he was PM, everyone would trust politics again, wouldn't they? He's just amazing. The business he's built. But the other thing to say about that is something that I can't remember that I was going to say about it. So
let's
helpful. Go on. Yeah, that's really good, isn't it? That's what we get paid the big bucks for, Stuart, isn't it? This sort of insight.
Absolutely. Should we move on to the most concerning story that I found regarding Black Friday? And this is in an actual shop. One of those things that you haven't stepped in for decades.
A real shop.
A real shop, yeah. It's from my neck of the woods, actually, in Leeds. This, back in 2016. This is at the HMV store, where it was on Black Friday. An off-duty police officer was attacked with a knife as he tried to stop a suspected shoplifter. He was taken to hospital with slash wounds to his neck, face and hand. He did survive. But we don't see many incidents like that happening. You see a lot of videos from America, people fighting over TVs and, having massive Royal Rumble style brawls in Walmart or whatever it is. But we don't really see that here. And with it increasingly moving to online shopping, they're probably going to become even rarer. But is there any part of you that's concerned about retailers that offer such good deals that it could lead to potential violence?
No, everyone's so poor. Everyone that I know, including me, is so poor. The better deals we get, the better. I don't think it leads to violence. We're so British, aren't we? Still, somebody tries to race through you, say no, after you, sir. Or as they're racing past you with a machete and they tread on your foot, you would say sorry, wouldn't you? That's what we do, isn't it?
But that's why I think the American imports take so long to ingratiate themselves within our society, because we're just too British. You'll be interested though in that HMV event. One of your favourite bands, Busted, were set to play a set actually to a sold out crowd. I'm sure you were there.
Yeah.
And amazingly, they still went ahead with the gig, even after the incident. So fair play to the lads at Busted there.
Stu, you know our audience are crying out for some more tips, and you are the man to provide them.
I'm the man. So I've got 6 tips here. So forgive my preachiness for the next few seconds. Tip number 1. I think I've got 5 tips actually. I've labelled the start of these tips as its own number, which is very amateur. So we've got 5 tips here. Number 1, always check the URL. That's the link.
Yeah.
Look for typos in the URL. Look for the HTTPS. Look for the padlock. Those are things you should be doing at all times, especially when you are getting your wallet out and making an online payment or sending money to anyone. Number 2, never pay by bank transfer to a private seller. So whether you're using Vinted or eBay or any other place, they have their own payment systems to cover your back. So if someone messages you and says, can you pay me privately outside of the app? Big red flag. It's probably going to be a scam.
Yeah.
The third one, which is one that a few people might not be aware of, if you are buying things online, I'm not advocating the use of credit, and I'm not a financial advisor, for the record. But
thanks for clarifying, Stuart.
You have certain protections if you use a credit card versus a debit card. The logic behind this is a credit card, it's not your money. It's credit from the bank. So if you spend £100 and that ends up being a scam, it's the bank that's lost its money, and it's more likely to fight for it and get it back. So you do have some extra protections if you use a credit card versus a debit card. Tip 4 is, as I've said, if a deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. And the last one here is never click on delivery fee or import fee texts or emails without checking one of the official either apps or websites, or if a bank says that your account's getting closed, or there's a pigeon in your bank account, it needs cleaning, or whatever the old jokes are from Phone Jacker back in the day. Ring a known confirmed number of, if it's your bank in that situation, or go on the official app, speak to someone and just confirm whether or not it's legitimate. That's my 5 tips, which I'm sure Adam will disregard. But those of you listening, 5 good tips there. Please be safe.
And before we go on, Stuart, any more life tips? Any one life tip you could give people, like to wear a coat when it rains, for example?
Yeah, umbrellas help.
Yeah.
Yeah, never eat yellow snow. That's my favourite.
Okay. Look, before we get to yours and everyone else's favourite end segment, the animal bit, we do want to thank everyone who got in touch on YouTube and social media on the back of last week's episode. Thank you. In which we covered, if you recall, auditors and e-bike riders. Now, we had some... We've really laughed this week, Stuart, haven't we? We had some auditors. Thank you, first of all, the auditors. You've helped push our YouTube numbers up, which is fantastic. You, of course, can watch this show on YouTube. Now, many weren't exactly positive, were they, Stuart? But it's all good opinions. We want people to come. We're not just being bland, are we? We're saying what we really think on this show. So we want all opinions. So all disagreements, all agreements, all good.
Yeah, because there's a way of having a discussion where you don't have to call people names. You can disagree as adults and move on with your life. That's what we encourage. Also, shout out to the person who guessed that I was in my mid-20s on YouTube. That's the best compliment I've heard all year, and the year is nearly over. The argument was that as someone who's in there, and they said they were guessing, mid-20s, thank you, and the host of a podcast, I should know how to pronounce every single town in the country. I should know that.
Even
because
Feltham.
I said Feltham, or is it Feltham? and you said, yes, it's Feltham. So I said, okay, Feltham. I corrected myself mid-sentence, but that wasn't good enough.
The thing is, Stuart, you should have retorted and said, look, I might not be able to pronounce Feltham, but I've got some damn good tips on stopping Black Friday fraud. And you should have then shared those with that person.
I could also, if anyone wants to hear it, share my skincare routine, because I'm making myself look a decade younger than what I am.
Yeah.
I'll give you some after the show, Adam. You could
Should we just get on with the animal story, Stuart, if that's all right?
Yeah, we will. We'll end with this. So, animal story of the week. This is about a super dog. We love dogs, don't we, you and I?
We do.
Who was sadly rejected from 5 potential adoptive homes due to his energetic nature. However, has recently won an international award for his ability to help catch criminals and save wildlife. This is Henry, a gorgeous 10-year-old Springer Spaniel. He's been named Animal of the Year by the International Fund for Animal Welfare, which recognises the unsung heroes of, you guessed it, animal welfare. He was rescued by Louise Wilson of Conservation Canine Consultancy in Wrexham at 8 months old when he was, quote, a lost soul who was struggling to find a home. Henry can now detect 7 scents, I think that's 3 more than I can, ranging from birds of prey to hedgehogs, helping police track down those involved in wildlife crime, which is a type of crime that is probably neglected in the true crime niche, but it does happen.
Let's come back to that on another podcast. We can find an expert, can't we?
We can do, yeah. Henry can locate bird carcasses, even small monitoring tags removed from birds that are being tracked, and his nose has helped police target criminals who kill or steal birds of prey.
Wow,
what a
good
great
story.
Dog.
Now, I follow more police dogs than humans on X, and rightly so. You know where you are with a dog, and most of all, they aren't enticed by Black Friday, are they?
They're not. They're not enticed by Black Friday. And I think that is where we will leave it for today's episode. If you've got any thoughts on anything we have discussed, or if there's a topic you think is worth us talking about, we would love to hear from you. You can drop us a comment on YouTube. You can join our Facebook group. Please do get involved. We have new episodes every single Wednesday. Make sure you're following on Spotify, get subscribed on YouTube, and follow it wherever you listen so you don't miss an episode. And as always, if you've enjoyed it, why not leave us a rating or a review? It really helps new listeners find the show, and it won't cost you a penny. Talk about Black Friday deals, how's that for one? It's free. You don't even have to pay a penny to leave us a review, and it does help. Thanks for catching up with us. We'll see you next time for another True Crime Catch-Up.
Cheerio.